questions.
I did send them to you, so hopefully
No,
you got them.
you did. But I barely looked at them. Do you know, I've been online. I've been in a meeting at 8:30.
Okay.
Right? And I was supposed to be in a meeting, a course. I'm sort of on a semi-course at the moment from 8 to 9. So I
Yeah.
jump in at 8:30, got the end of that. And then the guy said, oh, then when you want to join me after, I got a free for 9. I said, jump in there. And then part of that course is the bit of it is that from 10 to 11. I just jump off of that and jump in.
Right, we are live, so
okay.
everyone's just heard what you said there.
Oh dear.
So, but basically, you've been very busy. So from this morning, you've already been on some Zoom calls and meetings. Yeah, that's what I know about you. You're a go-getter. Right, guys, good morning, Love Sales, Hate Selling members. I am so pleased today that I'm joined by Eva Dalgety of Dalgety Marketing Solutions, also one of the founder of Dalgety Teas, an international global brand that sells tea right across the world. This lady has built businesses. So trust me when I say that she has some knowledge that she is going to help you with. And she's definitely someone for you to reach out to if you're struggling with your business. But Eva, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. I know you're a busy lady. I know you've been in meetings since this morning, but I'm so chuffed that you've joined us today. How are you today?
I am great. I'm great, Nigel. I want to correct you on one thing.
Go on.
Founders of Dalgety. I'm actually, I would say, I don't like to claim to be a founder because it is my brother's company. And
he's using your surname. That makes you a founder in my book.
Yeah, but I have been there from the start, and I am part of the team.
Yeah. I imagine when his head's been hurting and he's been vexed that he's come to you and he's in your ear, so that makes you a founder, man. You've had to feel his pain. You've had to make sure that he's okay. So as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the process. So
but he is Mark Dalgety, and I like to acknowledge him.
Brilliant.
And
one of the things when we finish, if you could drop some links in the comments to Dalgety Teas, and also obviously to Dalgety Marketing Solutions as well. But listen, I'm not going to keep you forever because I know you're a busy lady, Eva. So let's get started. So Eva, please tell the members, what do you do for a business?
Okay, at the moment, what I do, I serve two types of customers, right? The first customer that I serve tend to be startup businesses, solopreneurs, or they might be working part-time but looking to build a business. And they have a little bit of capital because it does cost. And I basically look for people who lack sort of technical knowledge, they lack time, and they lack probably marketing expertise to grow their business, right? So I help them to get traffic to that business, and hence, of course, more sales, and then basically increase their revenues. So that's one customer that that is my sort of, I tend to run a 90-day program on that. My other type of customer tends to be companies who are bigger companies, and they have a team. And what I do as part, I jump in as a freelancer within that team. So it might be a contract that could go on for a very long time. But technically what I do, I jump into that, and I'm normally the data analysis person. So what I do there is that I track, I measure, I produce data reports to improve their marketing and their sales. So I use things like Salesforce, CRM tools, and I build their CRM pathways, the customer pathways, the product pathways, analyze it, and then so that is really my bigger projects that I work on.
So data analysis, I mean, that sounds to me like you like numbers, Eva.
I love numbers. I do like numbers. I've always loved numbers.
Okay. And so, I mean, what's your relationship with numbers then? Is there a bit more about you and numbers that we should know about?
Well, I think I just always loved maths from school. I was one of those early people. I took maths, I guess if you consider it, I did maths, I guess it's year 9 or year 10 in this country. I mean, I'm from the Caribbean, so I took it early. I did a degree in engineering.
Wow.
I then sort of did a PGC in mathematics to teach secondary mathematics. So
wow.
I kind of always love numbers and
Oh,
things. I
Eva,
don't know. I
that's
kind of like it.
inspirational. Members, if
Yeah.
you've got any daughters who are thinking that they shouldn't like maths, then Eva is the reason that they should.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, wow, that's absolutely fantastic, and more people need to know about that. I think
Yeah.
you know, definitely give you standing amongst the community and amongst, you know, other females who perhaps think, oh, engineering's not for me or maths is
Oh
not for me.
no.
So
Yeah.
excellent. So what inspired you to start the first business, the business around startup businesses?
Well, I think one, I guess it's a little bit in my pedigree because my mom was a social worker, but my father sort of ran his own business.
Yeah.
So I guess part of it growing up was working within my father's sort of business, helping out. You always think you're going to be a business owner. And then of course you go through the education system and you kind of get stuck in, you get a job after degree and you're earning money and you're thinking, oh, can I leave this? Can I leave that income
yeah.
to
better myself?
Yes, to better myself. But you have that fear. But then about 10 years ago, I had my babies, you know, and I was sort of still restless. And I did that's when I did the PGCE. Still didn't create the time. In fact, I had less time and less money. So I thought, well, why not? So I started then, and that is when I even became more involved with my brother's business.
Right.
I basically launched the products online because we run a distribution business. Most people ask us if whether Dalgety has a shop, and we don't have a shop per se.
No.
What we consider ourselves a distribution company. Because we manufacture the teas, we bring the raw materials in, we have a factory where it's manufactured, and then we distribute to warehouses, wholesale, and then they sell on to the consumer. Okay, so and that's basically the structure that my brother set up from the start. And so I said to him, look, you know, moving with the times, you need to be online. And since I had a programming background as well, I decided to sort of build a small website and to teach myself online marketing strategies to basically launch the products online. So that's how I got started. But why I got started, I think at that point with having babies, I wanted flexibility. I wanted to be able to go to their school plays. I wanted to be able to do things with them and not feel that I was constrained by the job, you know, or I have to ask for time off. I set my own schedule. And I think that was really in my personality what I was looking for.
Fantastic. So for you, the important thing was really it's about work-life balance, isn't it? It's about having that time to enjoy life as well as, you know, being able to earn money to, you know, to reward the fact that you're putting, you know.
But I think it's more than that because it isn't easy to start where you don't have that guaranteed income coming in. But the passion to be flexible, the passion to have that freedom to decide, you know what, I'm going to put in a couple of hours at night, I'm going to put in these hours here, going to, you know, and having to sort of adapt your I guess you're adapting work against the life that you want. You know, that freedom.
It's definitely an area which a lot of people aspire for. You know, nobody wants to work for the man. And I suppose with COVID as well, where the man has got rid of a lot of people because, hey, it's now the time because, you know, we can. A lot more people most certainly will be looking to start up a business. And I definitely think in terms of technology, that's a big thing which a lot of people struggle with. So tell us about some of the challenges that you've had to overcome.
Okay, I saw that question and I was thinking about it. I think the first challenge I think I had in business, I'll come down to finance because everybody says that right away. But I think the first one for me was probably building rapport with the clients that I wanted to work with. And I say that because coming from, I guess, a very analytical point of view, a very numbers person. I had
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
I would always go in or start talking to somebody about their numbers, and if they're more a people person than I am, it's like right over their head. They're like, this girl is not on my wavelength. So I think I had to learn how to be a bit more people-like as opposed to more data-driven. I think that was one of my challenges. And
we would have called you a blue at Yale. a blue analytical, focus on the numbers, make decisions based on
Yeah.
fact, not emotion.
Correct.
Normally accountants are blues.
Yes, they are. Yeah, I mean, people wonder why I didn't go into accountancy, but that wasn't really my. I mean, I do a little bit of it, of course, but yeah, it's very much like that, you know.
Yeah, and you've been able to kind of adapt now, and I imagine you can walk into most rooms now, and you know you can engage with everybody in that room.
Yeah, but it's learned behavior.
Yes,
you know, it's not my natural flow.
Yeah,
my natural flow would be quite happy. I'd be quite happy. Like, you know, lockdown, I didn't particularly suffer because it's just me.
Exactly.
I'm quite happy at home doing my spreadsheet.
Yeah, I was going to say, even a spreadsheet's like, oh my God, look at the numbers. Whoa.
No, but my husband is like, I would create a spreadsheet for everything. I'm like, okay, you know what? We need a spreadsheet to deal with this crisis. He'd be looking at me like, okay, if you say so. Like,
I love that you said that, because I do suffer from that illness where I create documents for document's sake, and then I have like this flashback of this document I created 6 months ago, and I think, oh, where is it? And by then, you're not a computer's like, it gets buried in some folder somewhere in some other drive, and it's like, oh, what was it called? It was so important.
Yeah.
Then I find it and realize it wasn't actually that important. But yeah, I hear you, man. In fact, I would hate anyone to go through my laptop because it's full of spreadsheets at the moment.
Yeah.
Have you had any other challenges that you had to overcome?
Yeah, so I think that's one. The second other challenge, I think, was time. Time in terms of expanding your business. So, you know, when you're a solopreneur or you're working for yourself, you tend, and I said time linked with cash flow. Okay. And I think a lot of times, especially in the early days, I've been self-employed, not working for anybody for about 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think as you want to grow your business, right, time becomes the most important factor, and as well as cash flow. And in order to do that, I've had to sort of relinquish some of the control that I like having, and sort of take on either VA, you know, which I have now. So, and that allowed me back some of the time to do some of the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that making that decision, and sometimes it's very hard for people who are self-employed. Say, when is that time to grow? When is that time do I take that next step?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know. So I link that with the cash flow.
Yeah.
Because like any small business, you will have times that cash flow may be an issue, and you have to look at that against the time to grow.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So I would say those were my challenges, or those are some of the challenges.
I can relate to those. I mean, I've got to be honest. When I took on a VA, my business changed because they took away a lot of the kind of the time-sucking activities. You know? To be fair, I'm at the point now where, because the thing is, when you're creating your own content, your own creative content, it has to be you that creates it, because it's your creative content.
Yes.
The problem I have right now, though, is I've got so much creative content that I've got to create. I can't pass it on to anybody else.
Well, you can, if you look at it well, because I used to think exactly the same. And I've learned that, you know what, I could put those ideas down and then sometimes get her to do the battle or those sort of admin things. But in the beginning, you know, you kind of say, oh, well, I need to actually put and you know, when you begin to work with that person, they begin to understand you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they could then put that out. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. It's not.
No, and I think this is where this is where a lot of business owners struggle, because they, like you say, they don't want to relinquish control. It's, you know, I'm doing it. You know, someone else will do it wrong. It's like, you know, and I think once you remove that kind of pressure point, because it's a blockage in your business, isn't it? Once you can remove it, and I suppose as long as you can find the product, service, the way of paying for that, you'll then see the benefits from it the following month, because those 10 hours or whatever that they've given you has allowed you to do other things and grow the business. So excellent. Zingers here, guys. I hope you're listening to that. VAs. I need to hook up with a VA actually and see if I can get some commission, because I keep talking about them. VAs, outsourcing, you know, admin roles. You know, if you can get rid of it, guys, if you can pay for it, but not expensive. If you can get it paid for. Remember, as a self-employed business owner, the minimum you should be on is £50 an hour. So a VA is going to cost you anywhere between, if you're lucky, £10. And if you want a really good one, 30, £35. Then get it. You'll be amazed at how much you can get done once someone else is doing all of the boring tasks for you. So, what advice then, Eva, would you give somebody who was crazy enough to start a business post-COVID in the year 2020? What would you kind of say to someone looking to do that today?
I think, and I'm looking back on myself and I wish I had done that. I think, one, you have to develop a vision statement. And to go with that, you need to develop a plan, even if it's a 3 months plan, right? And it's a very thorough plan of how you're going to generate that income. Okay. You know, we sometimes do things a bit ad hocly when we're thinking of starting, and you got all these ideas, you know. But until you develop that plan for success, right, and then actually executing it. And a lot of people like to miss out the plan because they just want to get this done or they want to get that done. And in the long term, it doesn't pay.
I spoke to a customer this morning who's doing exactly that. So she was telling me all these things that she wanted to do. And I said, right, have you got these written down? Yes. Excellent. So you're going through them one by one. And there was silence. I was like, don't tell me you're starting one, getting so much done, then moving on to the next. She went, yeah. So I said, so you've got 10 unfinished tasks on there? She went, yeah. I said, right. Go back to the beginning. Get it finished. Once it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. Don't do it half and then walk away.
Correct. You know, no, it's true. But it's even just putting together, you know, I mean, now, even the companies I work for and even the clients that I work with, you know, the first thing I do with them actually is that I identify the flow, right? Because I partner with a company. It's not a networking business, but it's an entrepreneur, it's an education entrepreneur institute. And we identify where people are in flow. Right, so you understand where you are, you know, what type of personality you have, and then we sort of look at your passions and your purpose. Because in this business, when you're self-employed, if you don't have those bigger things sorted out, it's very easy for you to lose it or to lose your passion or whatever it is, right? And then the next thing I do is basically develop a plan, and that plan I have to understand their audience, what they're going to, what the outcome that audience must have, right? The price point they want for that product. Then we look at the product steps, and then the bigger purpose must sort of align itself with what they want to do. You know, and then the vision, you know, what is it that they want to earn? You could have it big, small. What is it that you want to earn at the end of that 3 months, the 6 months, next year? And then I look at their numbers, because, you know, and, you know, people say, you know, why am I looking at my numbers? Yes. If you're doing something on social media, I want to know how many contacts you have, because then that would tell me how I could get you your first customer, or your first 10 customers, or your first 100 customers.
Numbers. I'll tell you what, Eva, I love you. I love numbers. I love you. Listen, right, numbers give you history. They also allow you to formulate a plan for the future.
Correct.
You can see this is working. Why aren't we doing more of this? Because, because no one knew it worked. Well, guess what we're going to do first? Honestly, music to my ears.
You know, and even somebody just starting out, right, could have some numbers. It will be an estimate, and then once they run that plan, they will then have the actual numbers.
They can measure and say, okay, we fell down here. What didn't we do? What can we do here? And that's it.
And what worked well.
And I know for some people this will be boring. You'll be like, oh, I don't want to talk about numbers, and I get that. I do understand it, but if you want to move your business forward, you need to understand.
I could not remain self-employed for that length of time if I did not.
Because I was speaking to a client this morning, and she's just sold her first course. And I said to her, well, where did that person come from? And she didn't know. She's, you know, it's one of those, you should have had the conversation before. But if she can find out where that person first made contact, then guess what she can do going forward? She can make sure that she's in that place more often, with the right message to the right people, attracting more people. So fantastic. Before we go to the last question, who have we got on? So, hi, Lisa Ty. Oh, Lisa's answering our question about VAs, it can be hard putting the hours in when you are working for someone else as well as running your own business, but worth it in the end. I have help from a VA sometimes. Great investment. Absolutely agree with you there, Lisa. Good morning, Trisha. I hope you're well, honey. So, Eva, is there anything that the group can help you with right now? Is there any kind of, what do you need from us?
For me, connections. You know, I'm not a very people's person, even though I appear to be.
You are. You're lovely. I can't understand how you say that. You're a lovely person.
So yeah, but I mean, I would love to put my my Facebook and my LinkedIn.
Put it all of your links.
LinkedIn,
I want, you know, I want the website. I want, you know, everything.
Well,
Dalgety Teas, everything.
But what I'll do, I'll tell you what I'll do. One, I'll put my Facebook link in it so people can connect with me on my page, not my profile. You know, we could connect up to my profile, but I'm looking to build my page. Secondly, my LinkedIn profile as well. Thirdly, what I'm going to do, an organization that I kind of work with or I recommend people to, it's the Entrepreneur Institute. It's an international organization.
Okay,
They run a challenge next week. As a 1 week challenge, right? Where you sort of end up building a kind of plan. I'm actually looking for 5 people to partner with. It's a free challenge.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested in that, have a chat with me.
Well, for that then in the comments, just put a so do a separate comment for that one with a little bit of context as to what's going on. So at least then people can see that and go, oh, right, I want to take part in it.
Yeah. So it's a free challenge. It's a 1 week challenge. And then fourthly, I'll put the link for Dalgety Teas and I'll do a voucher code for 5% off. Now, but the thing is, the 5%, what happens when somebody buys with that 5%? I match that 5% and I give it to a charity in my country, which helps teenage girls who've been through trauma.
Oh, fantastic.
And want to basically be involved in science and tech.
Right, Eva, I'm gonna say to you now, when you put the comments in this video, please give us some context around the Dalgety Teas, the charity, the 5% and the match, so that people can say, right, worthwhile cause, boom. And what was the previous one? Of the Entrepreneur Institute about the 5-day challenge, and again the reasons why. Because at the end of the day, the biggest mistake that a lot of people make on social media is they don't give context. They'll put a link and then expect someone to click it, and it's like, well, it might be a virus, or they're gonna steal my bank details, or you know what I mean. And at the end of the day, it's if you give someone the reason. Remember, you're selling the steak, not the sizzle. So you've got to tell me, well, what am I going to get if I click on this link? If you tell me that, guess what? More people will click on that link. Simple as. Okay, so guys, if you hear that, so Eva's going to drop her links into the comments. The Entrepreneur Institute, which is an international worldwide organization, are running a 5-day challenge which will help you to build a plan. She's also going to be putting in a code for Dalgety Teas. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, you get all the best deals in my group. And she will match that 5% and send that to charity. A charity,
it's a charity that I support.
Young girls in her home country. Young girls who are overcoming trauma. So an absolutely fantastic cause. So
a lot of them, you see, the thing is with that is that a lot of them have already raped or whatever, but they want to then, and by the time they sort of got over that, and a lot of coaches might be on here, they understand that, is that they're now of age, probably 16, 17, and they can't get back into education. So the charity then pays for extra lessons and classes if they want to become nurses or get involved in tech. And because I'm a girl with numbers, I kind of like to support that.
Honestly, honestly, it's the first time that I've heard about this, Eva. You need to tell more people about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one aspect of what that particular charity does, that NGO does. But that is the bit that I like to support, so that I could understand that impact.
Even if you tell people that Dalgety Teas is supporting this charity, think of the knock-on effect for the charity. People even say, oh, who are these people? Let me go and check them out. Let me read about some of those stories. And just by default, you may well find that a lot of people go to this charity and support it because they've heard you speak about it. You see, if you do not tell me, then I'm never going to guess. I'll put
the link to the charity as well. It's overseas. It's in Guyana.
But
I just support one element of it. I'm not into the big stuff, because I like to measure impact.
It's a great cause, and I think You know, the only way that people can help is if they know about it and aware.
Yeah.
So that is us. Don't go anywhere, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're watching the replay, you'll be able to watch this video on YouTube in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to connect with Eva, fantastic lady entrepreneur who's taken the world by storm, and we have been honoured by her presence today. And guys, if you've got any questions for me or Eva, feel free to ping them over. And thank you for joining us. And Eva, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Nigel.
No problem at all. Guys, take care. Eva, don't go anywhere. Guys, I shall catch up with you during the week. Have a good one. Oh, if anyone wants to catch me later on, I'm doing afternoon tea for Karen Vaughan in her group. So if you want to come on that later on, feel free. Right, speak to you later, guys.
Bye, everybody.